Over the last 6 months, I have been opening up various Pokemon products and packs, and now I'm finally ready to do my first ever grading card submission. You'll notice in the background I'm missing a few of my cards, but that's for good reason, because I'm including those as part of my submission. Now let's take a stroll down memory lane as I show you which cards I'm going to submit. So before I show the cards that I'm going to be submitting, remember that this is going to be a two-part video series. Today's video is all about the cards that I'm going to be submitting to get graded, and then I'll do a follow-up video as a part 2 once I receive the cards back with their gradings so I can share the results. But of course, before I go down memory lane and show you the cards that are going to go as part of this submission, I gotta open up some packs because you know we got to do it for the DGen Science. And I've got a spicy one today. I've got 2 packs of Unified Minds right in front of me. So let's get into the packs before I show you the cards that I'm going to submit for grading. Unified Minds, we've got 2 packs, Darkrai, and we've got the Mew and Mewtwo. I'm going to save the Mew and Mewtwo for the second opening, and I'm excited because I haven't gotten into this set at all yet, but at a local trading card show that I just recently attended, there was a couple packs, and I thought, why not try my luck with this set? Because it's been one of those ones, I would say, hard to track down. So let's see, maybe I can get some luck today. You know, grading might be worthwhile, getting a secondary grading card to pull out here for that next submission. So let's see. Unified Minds though, kicking us off on this video, which is awesome. I'm super excited to show what I'm going to be submitting, but it's always a bonus getting into a new set that I haven't had a chance to get into. So let's see, what do we got? We've got the Joltik Reverse Holo. We've got the Abomasnow on the first pack, no hit. All right, we're looking for that Mew and Mewtwo GX card. Also maybe the Misty's Favor, that could be a good one. Because I already know I got some hits that I'm going to be submitting and I can't wait to show you those ones. But let's see, second pack of Unified Minds. And again, these are going for a pretty penny right now. So it's hard to justify getting a lot more than just 2 at the moment. But hey, I can always dip into the DGen Science budget once in a while and spoil the opening and see what I can get on this one. So let's see, second pack, can you deliver some heat? And again, Unified Minds, first I'm getting into this one, just getting a little taste, and then we'll follow up at a future video to see if we can get some more. Okay, this is a GX card. I'm just seeing the border here. Could this be one of the top 3 pulls? Let's go. Oh, we got the Espeon and Deoxys GX. Not a top 3, but that is a beauty card to pull. Unified Minds, first time getting into it, first time hit. I'll definitely take this one. Well, not too bad. It's 2 packs. It was a quick one, but hey, Unified Minds, I'll take that hit. But now let's get to the submission that is coming up. And I'm going to be splitting the submission actually into 2 different piles. So first pile is going to be submitted to PSA, and then the second pile is going to be submitted to Beckett. Now, the reason for this is I feel like only a small batch of cards were worth going to Beckett because I feel like they have a strong chance of hitting that Gem Mint 10, you know, that black label. I'm after that. And then the rest of the pile, I still feel maybe a 50-50 chance that some could hit 10s, but most might hit the 9s. So let's go into these ones and see what I've got. So kicking things off, I've got the Unigaba Flareon card that I recently opened up. I opened up 4 Unigaba promo packs and I managed to pull this one on the last pack. So 4 cards, really luck of the draw. Didn't pull an Espeon, didn't pull an Umbreon, but I pulled a Flareon, which is a pretty nice card. And this one, I feel like it's the cleanest one out of the 4 that I pulled. The other 3 do have a little bit of damage in the top right corner, so I didn't want to risk submitting those ones and getting a low rating on that. So this one was the cleanest in terms of edges. Looking at the alignment, it looks very clean, looks very centered. And again, on the back, it's a little bit harder for me. I'm not used to the Japanese cards as much, so very hard to gauge how that alignment looks compared to the English set, which you can see a clear border around. This one has a bit of like a gradient, so it's tough to tell how the back will score, but I think at least on the front side, this will look pretty good. I am expecting a PSA 10 on it, so we're gonna see how that one's gonna turn out. So next up is the Roaring Moon EX Special Illustration Rare from Paradox Rift. Got into those packs a few months back and pulled this one. This was part of my bounty video series, and I was super excited. I couldn't believe that I landed this card. And I think just in raw value alone, it's quite high, but I would love to land obviously a PSA 10. And I think this one has a shot. There is a slight edge on the right in terms of the alignment, but I think, you know, when I've seen some other PSA 10s, there tends to be a bit of a plus or minus gap on each side. So I'm going to be taking a degen risk and obviously hope for a PSA 10, but you never know. And again, looking at the back here, you can see it here on the left side, there is just a slight edge over compared to the right side, which when I flip it, obviously it's left and right. So on the right side, it's a little more leaning, but again, I'm hoping that this could land on a 10 because that would be absolutely amazing. So next up on the PSA submission is the Latias Prism card from the Sun and Moon Celestial Storm set. I opened up a sleeved booster box. It was actually as part of that Paradox Rift bounty video that I made. So I managed to hit the bounty, so I got to open up that cardboard sleeved Celestial Storm pack, and I managed to pull this Latias Prism card, which I think just looks absolutely incredible. That prism diamond treatment in the middle of the card. The funny thing is when I look at this card and seeing the kind of colorway that it has on there, kind of like that dark mustard brown look to it, it really reminds me of a Magic the Gathering card. So it's kind of got this really cool mixed look that, you know, old school Magic the Gathering cards, if you look at them, they have that black border. They've got this kind of like subtle gradient that's like a bit smoky. So this one really, it's funny. It's a Pokemon card, but it's giving off Magic the Gathering vibes. Now, I've never played that game, but I've seen a lot of those cards and it just looks really cool. Now this one, again, I don't think it's gonna get a 10, purely on the fact that I see that there's a bit of a bump up on the bottom side of this for the alignment on the back end. But if you look on the front, it looks also pretty clean. But there's one thing I've noticed, and I'm gonna try and get it in the light. I don't know if you can see that little shimmer. It looks like there's maybe a slight, it's almost kind of bleeding through at the bottom. So I don't know if that's going to truly affect the card rating. It probably will, let's be honest. They're looking with microscopes, they're looking at, you know, things beyond what our power of our eyes can be. I mean, no matter how good eye surgery you get, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. But again, when you turn and flip that card, you can see that shimmer kind of bleeding through. So I think that's going to hurt my rating. So I think this is, you know, conservatively going to be a 9, but I think either way, immortalizing it in a slab will be great. It's going to definitely be a PC card for me. Next up is the Zapdos G card. Now this one, I feel like it's a really meaningful card to me because I do like Zapdos as a Pokemon in general, but also this was one of the more expensive packs that I got into. I went to the Seattle Collector Expo and picked up a Platinum Arceus pack, and I managed to pull this card. Now, absolutely unbelievable luck, and rolling that degen dice was very successful on this front. This one, again, I thought about putting it through Beckett, but my gut instinct is saying not to do that just because, again, there is a bit of a slight angle here that I saw. I really scrutinized this card. I really had to fight my heart, you know, my brain had to fight my heart on this one and say, no, it's probably not going to get that gem mint rating that I need for Beckett to get a black label. But I do think that there is a potential chance here. Maybe I can get that 10 with PSA. We'll see. Are the grading gods on my side? So the next two things that I'm going to show you are part of my PSA submission, but I didn't open these up on video. One of which actually was opened up by my wife. She got into a Battle Styles pack and landed the Sleeping Tyranitar V. Absolute amazing hit, and honestly, Tyranitar is one of my other favorite Pokemon. That's why I've got the Tyranitar V also from Battle Styles in a slab form. That was actually my first slab that I purchased when I got back into the game, and this one is one of those ultimate chase cards for us. But the issue with this card is alignment. Now this thing is absolutely sideways beyond belief. So on the top and right and left, it's not too bad, but when you get to the bottom, it's really hard to see it on the video side, but it actually goes up on the right side there. Now on the back, you'll see it a little bit more prominent. So you can kind of see how it's leaning over to the left. So there's a pretty big gap here on the right. This one is all kinds of messed up in terms of alignment. It is not going to get a 10. I mean, if it gets a 10, I'm gonna have to buy some lottery tickets because that would be absolutely incredible, but I will be happy with a 9. And again, this one is going to go for the wife's PC. Now, the next one that rounds out the PSA submission is actually not even a card itself. It is a Series 3 pack. So I picked this up at one of my first ever trading card shows, and I got a really good deal on it just because of the fact that I told the vendor I was not going to open this up. This is taking every single ounce of my body to not be a degen and open it up and see what hit potentially is in here. But I have to fight that urge because I do want to put this one in a slab and again add it to the personal collection. I think there is a nice balance here, having some cards as well as some packs and also some ETBs protected. I don't know where the Series 3 ratings are going to go. This one, if you actually look up a lot of for sale packs, you'll see that a lot of them do come with this kind of slight angled cut on the foil. Even on the top side, it's all kinds of misalignment, miscuts, but apparently that's how these packs looked when they came out. So it is a bit of a surprise, but again, when you think about alignment and how much that drives the rating, I don't know where this is going to land with Beckett. So for me, I feel like it makes the most sense to go through PSA and get this one graded. And then who knows, maybe I can start to collect more of this series, like Series 1, Series 2, Series 4, and so on, and see if I can add up a collection and have them all PSA rated. Because again, I don't know where these are going to go with gradings, but it is super cool to add this again as part of the personal collection. So now let's turn over to the Beckett submission. And I've only got 3 cards that I'm going to be putting through, but for good reason, because these are absolute fuego, and I think that they have a really good chance of getting that black label because I think these cards are in pristine condition. First up is Espeon VMAX, and we all know where this is coming from. This was the Fusion Strike hit that I pulled. I could not believe that I landed something from the Fusion Strike set. We all know the pull rates are horrendous, but I managed to pull one of the top chase cards from it. And this Espeon VMAX card, just alone on artwork, is super amazing. Honestly, I think this looks wicked. I think that it looks really clean in terms of alignment all the way around. I mean, it is very clean on the right, very clean on the left, super good spacing on the bottom and top. And then even when we look on the back side there, that is looking pretty pristine. Checking the edges, because again, those are where you can get into some big trouble with some peeling or even dents and things like that. But again, pulled this out of a pretty fresh pack and there was not a speck of dust on this thing. I am feeling good. I really hope this one comes through. I mean, I hope they all come through really high up. Next one up, pretty big for a modern set pull. I've got the Greninja EX Special Illustration Rare from Twilight Masquerade, a set that has been absolutely amazing every time I get into it. Honestly, one of the better modern sets with big hits, and getting to pull the absolute highest chase card from that set, amazing. That ETB that I got into had absolute fire with this one. And again, it is a very clean print. Looking at the alignment here, I just feel like this one has super good alignment. Even on the bottom, that's where I usually find the newer sets. It really is difficult finding some good quality cards with that alignment that's not kind of off to one side, slanting, you know, or even really thick borders. This one is quite clean when you look at it, coming through on each side. And then even on the back there, this one, look at that. And again, the Greninja EX Special Illustration Rare, the artwork on this one, stunning. Of course, to round this submission out, we cannot forget the incredible pull that I had from a mysterious Powers tin of all things that happened to have an XY Evolutions pack. And what did I pull on that one? The Charizard Holo. This is incredible. This card is the closest, I'm gonna say it, the closest I will get to a base set first edition Charizard Holo card, because those cards are worth houses. This card is worth a very cheap car, but that's more realistic, honestly. If this becomes a Beckett 10 Gem Mint label, the black label, this card is very expensive. But regardless of the dollar amount, this card, in terms of the artwork, it is the OG look. This is what Pokemon was all about when I grew up. So to have the OG artwork in my hand, it is super meaningful for me. as my childhood dreams, having a Charizard. This is the closest I could get to it at the moment. So it has a lot of deep meaning for me because this takes me back to the good old days of when I was collecting at the beginning, when this came out, when I was a kid, watching the Saturday morning cartoon. So to have this, I really do feel like it's good. And again, not just talking with my heart, but also with my mind, my brain. I think that this one has a really good chance at getting that black label because the alignment of this card is really good. And when you look at this one, you can see all the way around, very clean border line. There's no dents, there's no chips or anything coming out on the corners. It was a very fresh pack. I think almost the tin was probably better for preserving the pack and the cards, because when I got into that one, it definitely hadn't been moved around quite a bit. And I was super excited when I saw this, especially when I turned it around. Look at that back. That is super clean. No whitening, no dots, no scuffle marks. And again, this thing, I pulled it and I instantly put it into a penny sleeve and a top loader because I couldn't mess around. I knew that this was going to be a very special card. And I think like with this one, just had to take all the right precautions. So I'm really excited to see what this one's going to come back with. Fingers crossed. I think like out of the 3 cards that I submit to Beckett, if I only get one black label, this is the one I want. This is the card that I want to be with that amazing label on it. This one is definitely going to be a big PC item for me. So we're gonna see where this comes out on the grading from Beckett. So fingers crossed. So now only time will tell what the results will be when I get back the gradings from both PSA and Beckett. So fingers crossed, there are going to be some big time results coming through. So I'll circle back to this video series and make a part 2 once those cards are back from grading. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button. I appreciate your support. And while you're at it, you can check out other videos here and here. As well, you can subscribe to the channel by hitting the logo button down there. I'll catch up with you on the next one. And until then, the drops don't stop.